This is the Fortean Slip British Invasion with your host, Chris York.
I am the Yi Now Deloshi. I just destroy humanity wherever I go.
And co-host, Richard Allen.
Have you ever seen that episode of The X-Files? Oh yes, you have. You ruined it for me.
Together they look at all things with a pinch of salt.
Making fun of like all the witnesses to Bigfoot, and the story is completely insane. There's no way it could possibly be true, but it is true.
By the way, I never listened to your show, but I listened to the show the other day. I kind of liked the story, so I said fuck it and threw it up there. I sent you the link to that. Did you check that out?
The symbolism is lost when they're turned into rainbow-spewing unicorns riding saucy bananas. The ranch was more UFO-y stuff, and the Skinwalker legend is more people turning into animals.
And it's not like a medicine man. Like a medicine man's a good guy. He heals people, does dances, whatever the fuck they do. I don't fucking know. The goody two-shoes stuff, Richard.
Oh, right. So they don't help little old ladies cross the road.
Hello, and welcome to the Fortean Slip British Invasion, episode 4. For those of you keeping track at home, keeping score, do you have your little, what were those things they gave you at baseball games? You keep score in the fucking thing. I can't remember what the fuck they were called now. God damn it. Richard?
Go.
Today, and this is Richard's gag, we're going to talk about psychology. Kind of, I would have to say this was one of the original pseudosciences. Because wasn't it looked at that like spit it the fuck out, Chris? Wasn't it looked at in that way at one point in time?
Yeah, it wasn't taken seriously for the longest time, and it's really still not taken that very seriously.
Well, I think that there are ways to look at the human mind and how it can react to certain situations, and I think that therapy has obviously helped quite a few people in the world. I mean, just saying, maybe. The percentages might be up there, Richard.
It's a very useful tool, but it's more useful for self change than it is for other people telling you what you need. The whole point isn't for someone else to tell you what's wrong with you. The whole point is for you to work out on yourself what's wrong and fix it.
So you think that a lot of people use those avenues as crutches?
No, some people do. There are definitely people in the world that get told something's wrong with them, and then that defines them. For instance, people with bipolar will use it as who they are. You know, they can't do this and that. They've got bipolar disorder, but that's not like a blanket. There are plenty of people with these problems that will, function throughout their lives well. The high functioning and low functioning people.
Right, but you think it's more of a tool that should be used individually instead of through
I think
a medium,
well,
so to speak.
Therapists are good because, a shrink is good because they'll give you the tools you need, but I think that a healthy knowledge of psychology wouldn't do anyone any harm.
Yeah. Richard wants to do a show about psychology, and he's at a loss for words.
Oh, you want me to go? I thought.
Well, it's your thing.
No,
it's your thing, man.
Oh, okay then. Yeah,
I don't know. I know next to horse shit about psychology. I mean, I know that there's such a thing as psychology, and I understand how it works, but you're like, hey, man, let's do a show on psychology. All right,
Well, it's something. That's
Richard,
something that
Richard,
really interests me.
go.
I'm not used to it, man. You usually just talk and then ask me my opinion about something. You put me in the spotlight, and now I'm like a rabbit in headlights.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when
What do I say?
it's like when Steve says he wants to do a fucking show, and I'm like, all right, go, and I just kick back.
All right. Sorry, my bad. I got a little confused there. Okay, so what would you be interested in learning about?
Hey, I'm open to anything, I guess. What do we want to talk about?
Okay, well,
What is it that you wanted to talk about with psychology?
I enjoy the subject. I think it's very fascinating. It tells you a lot about yourself and humans, and you actually, as a person that likes structures, would be very interested to know that pretty much everybody in the world fits into neat little boxes, psychologically wise, and there are personality archetypes that everybody on the planet conforms to. Some won't admit it. Some will fight really hard not to, but bottom line is everybody fits into one of these little boxes. Everyone's got a primary personality type. And when I found that out, I was like, well, that's bullshit. Everyone's unique. But the more you research it, the more you find out that a lot of everybody will fit into one of these little boxes. And I find that really interesting.
And you often say that I fit into a certain mold.
Yes. Yeah, let's look at you. You're a very good one. You're not supposed to. You're not.
I'm a very
you're
good
not
one.
You're not supposed to just tell people because, narcissists especially will get very angry if you confront their narcissism. But you're not. Everyone's got a narcissistic script. Everyone should have a healthy narcissistic script, something that tells them that they're all right, everyone else is all right, they have a right to exist. The unhealthy script is you're better than everyone else, of course. Narcissism is very easy. But you're antisocial, bordering on pretty much sociopathic at times. Well, you are. Come on. You're pretty much purely financially motivated. You don't care that much about other adults, love animals. But yeah, at the bottom line, you're pretty much motivated by financial gain, right? That's a fair thing to say, or unfair?
Well, I mean, as far as my passions, I mean, what are you talking about?
As far
Nobody,
as what your goal is.
my goal in life is to live
Yeah.
comfortably.
Right.
Live comfortably. That's all I give a shit about, man.
Yeah, but
And then you have to go into the whole standard of what I consider comfort to be. But it's above my fucking pay grade right now. Let's call it that. So yeah, I guess you could say I'm financially motivated in that way. But am I financially motivated to, run out and grab the next promotion or whatever at work? Not
but you don't
necessarily.
want to work for other people, do you? You want to be self-sufficient.
I'd love to be self-sufficient. It's very hard to be self-sufficient.
But it would be fair to say that one of the things that would be comfort to you would be being completely self-employed and self-sufficient,
Oh,
and not reliant on other people.
Absolutely. I don't want to answer to anybody but myself.
That's a very antisocial response.
I think a lot of people don't want to have to answer to anybody but themselves.
But you're thinking like an antisocial.
No, I have spoken to a lot of people, and they're like, no, I'd rather not work for somebody else. I mean, I think that's my ultimate goal, is I just don't want to work for anybody else. I'd like to be able to set my own type of schedule and do my own thing. But like I said, you are. I get what you're saying. But ultimately, that's you would be right that there is financial gain there.
Right. So that's a standard of the antisocial process. Don't really care about other adults, like animals, like children. It's a child-led, which means you're very you can be very immature, and you're led by a child ego state, as opposed to narcissists that are led by a parent ego state. And parental interjects is not the same as an adult. It's very critical. Um, right. So yeah. So that's the antisocial is financial gain. Don't really care about other adults. It's all about, it's a very selfish process, but at the same time, it's very brutally and honest. If you were to ever murder someone, you'd be honest to your own standard about that. You wouldn't try and justify it. Like a narcissist, if they killed someone for a hamburger, they'd say, well, I had to have a hamburger because if I die, then humanity will be amazing. And you'd be just like, well, I was hungry. Do you understand?
Right. I get what you're saying.
Okay, so that's part of it. Another good one to look at is interjects in your mind, script issues. Steve's a really good example for this. People that could succeed really well but don't. It's usually because they've got a voice in their head, not like a literal voice, but like a critical parent in their head that says, you will fail, you're not going to succeed, don't even bother, which is why he'll start a load of projects that will start to do really well, and because he's succeeding, he'll stop doing them completely and move on to something else.
Right, which we give him shit for all the time.
Which you should.
Because he needs that kick in the ass, is that what you're saying, Richard?
He doesn't need a kick in the ass. He needs to learn how to deal with script issues. You need to learn how to deal with the interject. You need to create a positive voice in your head. So, like, if the voice starts saying, "Oh, you'll fail, you'll succeed," you need to create a voice that says, "Well, actually, give it a shot. You never know. No harm in trying." And you don't have to be like all or nothing. I'm going to be amazing if I try this. I'm going to be great. You could just try and be like mellow and copacetic in the middle. A nice, easygoing approach. That's the best way to deal with interjects.
I've tried both with him. I like the kick in the ass better.
But you can't change Steve. Only Steve can change Steve.
And Steve can't change me, so I'll keep kicking him in the ass.
And drugging him with mushrooms.
That hasn't happened yet.
Yet.
Not yet. Time will tell.
It's on the cards.
It might be on the books. Who knows? Allegedly. No, I'm fascinated by the subject, and I do think that people do fit into certain boxes, but then, of course, everyone is so unique in their personality that people stray out of the box a little bit here or there, or, that's why profilers can narrow it down to, a certain percentage of people, but they're never going to be able to get it down to, this is the exact person based on, the personality profile alone. They have to use everything else as well, the evidence and so on and so forth.
Well, yeah, everyone has the ability to be unique, but basic behavior-wise, if you put them under duress or shock them, they're going to revert to their basic personality archetype, which is awesome. And like I said, there's 7 of them: paranoid, passive, borderline, bipolar, antisocial, narcissistic, schizoid. Those are the 7 primary personality archetypes. And, everybody will conform to one of these. It's remarkable because I've done studies, and this is in transactional analysis, and you can see that you put people under duress or shock them or just monitor their behavior over a certain amount of time, and every single person on the planet will conform primarily to one of those archetypes. I mean, they'll have sub-processes as well. Like most serial killers are narcissistic, antisocial. Most successful people are actually narcissistic, antisocial. I mean, it's those processes are really the best if you want to be number one at something, because the unhealthy versions of those processes make you genuinely not give a shit about any other person on the planet, and so you will succeed.
just self-driven.
Just self-driven, and you will destroy anyone that gets in your way. And
well, that isn't that nature's way?
Yeah, boy. I suppose you could call that a healthy process if you were. If you look at the success of a person.
If you want to look at it, the whole idea is to survive, and to spread your fucking seed or whatever. I don't know so much as acquiring wealth matters in the whole scheme of things, but it does as far as making sure your offspring are better off. So
yeah,
I mean,
like,
maybe
like that,
maybe that is, natural perfection in the urban world of fucking humanity. Who knows?
Like I said, if you measure it by personal success, those people are the best. If you measure it by moral or ethically, then they're deplorable human beings.
They're just shitty.
I guess at the end you're judged by your own standards, which again is,
Well, actually, no, you're judged by societal standards in the end. I mean, in the end, we're all judged by societal standards. We can judge ourselves all day long, or not judge ourselves, or whatever, but it's society that places us in these boxes. Ultimately.
Yeah.
Because if you're just living your life by yourself, it doesn't matter. Like if you're fucking mountain man Richard Allen, living off the fucking land, hermit fucking Richard Allen, you don't ever fucking have any
master of the
right. Fucking you don't fucking have any contact with any people whatsoever. What does any of this matter?
Good point. I suppose it doesn't.
But
I'm not living by myself.
But in a societal sense, it does matter, because if you take a big group of people, then yeah, you can fit people into these little boxes, and it is very interesting that you can take these people and that they'll revert back to their their little box, whatever box they fit fucking into. And I guess for society, like if society ran into Richard Allen Mountain Man after fucking 30 years of being in the fucking woods, living off the land, and they, started testing him, they could fit him into one of those boxes.
Antisocial.
At that point, probably.
Antisocial, paranoid.
So, I mean, I like the science, and I do think that it can be helpful for people. I think that there are a lot of people that use it for way too long as far as like therapy can be concerned. I know people who have been it for as long as I can remember, like my whole life sort of thing, and I don't think it's helped those people at all.
Well, there are some therapists that will take advantage of people like that and carry on seeing them. It's definitely an industry that needs to be regulated more than it is. Because, there are people with mental problems that will just keep seeing these people for the rest of their lives and not changing. But that's true for anything, like plastic surgery and tattoos. If someone's addicted to it, then they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I know that it's a solid science. I mean, is it perfected? No, but it is there. There's something there. But is it perfected? No.
It's a fascinating subject, though. And you can see it in people. I mean, if you take the time to really study the stuff, you'll start people, and it's really amazing. Well, for me anyway, I like that sort of thing. You know?
Well, I mean, you have your own issues, so I think that's why you're very interested in the subject.
That's true.
You know?
That's very true.
I mean, I grew up in a let's throw Chris into therapy because he needs therapy type of thing when I was younger. And I don't have an issue with therapy or with therapists. I had a therapist when I was going through my first divorce, and he was excellent, great guy. I learned a lot talking to him. I didn't stay talking to him for very long. I probably should have utilized him in a much better fashion, but I just didn't. But a lot of times I just feel like if I can't get over it on my own, then, I need to try harder, because if I need to be strong enough to get over it on my own without having to sit there and walk through it. But I've learned lately that there's a lot of things that I can't fucking change about myself.
What about yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Like I have these tendencies where I fucking just, my whole tone, my whole demeanor changes, but I'm not angry, or I'm not pissed off, or I'm not mad, but it's just the way that I react, and it seems that way. And I need to figure out a healthier way of fucking doing it, because I don't see it as that, and I don't see it that way. But a lot of other people do. So I guess so in logically, there's a problem if a lot of people think that there's something there, but I don't.
Right, exactly. It means you're doing something to subconsciously to annoy other people that you're not aware of.
Right.
I mean, you're clearly somebody that, like me, has got their own issues. It's always worth exploring. If not seeing it shrink if you don't want to, but just learning about this stuff and trying to change your behavior, because I think that it's bunk that there are certain things about a person that person cannot change, because ultimately the only person that can change, is yourself. Nobody else can change you. Only you can change you.
Right. I've been a firm believer of that for years.
It might be that you project this image of somebody you're not, and that's what people see, and maybe you need to work on that. But
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not an expert.
No, we're definitely not experts. That's for sure. And on that note, Richard,
Happy birthday, Steve.
This has been the Fortean Slip British Invasion, episode 4. If you like this shit, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Share this shit around. If you like it, share it. Share it everywhere. If you know somebody that's offended by things that we might say, share it with them too. Why not? Check out Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and at youtube.com/Dred Funn. Check out Matt at bigfootcrossroads.com. And as always, if you'd like to find Steve, somebody will find him somewhere. They always fucking do. See ya!
Watch for his sign.